The world reveal of Modern Warfare 2 is just 20 seconds away. So stoked for this, man. We're going to be watching this together. Can't wait to see what this game brings, man. The return of Price, Ghost, Gaz, Soap, Laswell, fighting around the world, protecting the innocent and taking it to the bad guys. This is Modern Warfare 2. We're hanging upside down off a helicopter, landing on trucks. What is happening? All right.
We got a hit on Hassan.
We can't take him in Iran.
He's not in Iran.
An Infinity War
Who do we
production.
send?
TF-141 is back in town, baby.
All right, that's where we're in position.
Bravo team offloads here. Alpha team stays on board to land downrange. This is capture or kill.
Capture or kill. It looks like wet work. I don't think.
Ryan, get their hands on this.
Is this wet work?
Russia or us?
Dude, this looks insane. I can't wait for the campaign, man.
We need an army. Right, get us an army.
Some night vision. Clean house style missions.
Mexican Special Forces, 141, they are your brothers now.
Oil rigs.
Weapons hard, vaqueros.
The ultimate weapon is team.
Pre-order now and get early access to the open beta.
And we're getting a beta. That's exciting. So yeah, that, my friends, is the Modern Warfare 2 worldwide reveal trailer, and it looks pretty sick. No surprise there. I mean, come on. We've all been around the block. We know Call of Duty. They are masters at marketing. They always kill these trailers, and this one is no exception. This looks really good. So luckily, I do have a little bit more information to share with you guys. So I was fortunate enough to be invited to an event just a couple of days ago to get a little bit more intel on the game before this trailer went live to the public. Now, there were some people that went out to LA and physically got their hands on the game. I was not one of those people. I couldn't travel at the time, had other things going on, but I did attend kind of like a virtual meeting where we got to see basically a little presentation, see a little bit of campaign gameplay, didn't get to see any multiplayer, and to just kind of get some extra intel on the game. So we're going to go through some of the things I learned. There's probably some other guys out there that will have better coverage and know more than I do, but kind of wanted to touch on the highlights and things that were interesting to me as a longtime Call of Duty player. So starting off with the campaign, it is fictional, but it's based on reality. Like it's based on real military technology. So I don't think we're branching too far into the future. I don't think we're getting, you know, too crazy. We're in Modern Warfare. There's probably going to be some cool tech, but nothing out of the realm of what's currently available. Long story short, there's some sort of a terrorist conspiracy. There's plans to attack, or maybe they are attacking the US, and Task Force 141 has been brought together to travel around the world and hunt this down and basically put a stop to it. Now, what we know that Modern Warfare 2019 ended with Price saying, yeah, I'm going to make this task force, and I believe this game picks up like 3 years later. So it's a direct sequel, and it follows this Task Force 141 as they try to put a stop to this terrorist plot. Of course, you've got some old favorites. We've got Price, we've got Soap. What the hell kind of a name is Soap anyway? We've got Ghost, we've got Gaz, we've got Laswell, we've got new characters. We're going to be working alongside this really cool dude from like the Mexican Special Forces, and I'm sure there's going to be all sorts of other crazy characters, both protagonists, antagonists introduced, and we're going to form this team to try to be able to stop the bad guys. Now, I was lucky enough to see some of the gameplay early, and I'm going to be honest, I was a little bit nervous about this because I didn't want to spoil anything for myself. I love playing through the campaigns here on the channel. I've always just loved hopping into campaign first. Like as soon as I got the new COD game, I'd play through the campaign before hopping into multiplayer. And so I didn't want anything spoiled or didn't want our series to be spoiled or anything like that. And luckily, the way they set it up is we saw, I think, 3 or 4 different campaign missions, but we only saw small snippets of it. So it was like, 3 minutes here, 5 minutes here, whatever. So it kind of gave you a general sense of kind of what it could be like, but you didn't actually have anything spoiled. And it looked good. I'm going to be honest, it looks very similar to the Modern Warfare 2019 campaign, which I absolutely loved. And I think, they're taking some of the things that really worked in that, and then they're building upon it. I'm expecting it to be bigger and better than what they were able to do in the past. That's every game developer's goal. In terms of the graphics and everything, super real, just super intense moments, like very, very emotional, you know what I mean? Of the missions we saw, they all seemed pretty different in terms of the setting and just kind of the approach and the strategy of the mission. One of them had a lot to do with water, so water is coming to single player, multiplayer, and to Warzone, and so like you're using the water to kind of swim around, be stealthy, pop up, take somebody out, use it to kind of, get back into the shadows. The water even affected your weapon ballistics, so obviously water is more dense than air, so your bullets go slower, they aren't going to do as much damage, you've got to shoot people more times and things, so that was kind of interesting. There was a mission we saw that looked so good, you see a little bit of it in the trailer here, that it looked very similar and had the same vibes to a Clean House style mission where you're stacking up, you've got your night vision on, there's just intense close quarters combat. Dude, I've got chills thinking about that. The first time I played that mission, it just such a special moment, and I can't wait. I'm really hoping they've doubled down on that style of mission here in this campaign. And one thing we didn't get to see but was mentioned by one of the devs is there is a mission set in Spain where you are in a ghillie suit with Captain Price taking out enemies from 400 to 500 meters away. So think about the iconic all ghillied up one shot, one kill missions. We are going to be with Papa Price shooting it at enemies from a long distance away, and I really hope that one ends up pretty cool as well. There's not really much to say besides it looked great. Like the campaign looked really, really good, and the Modern Warfare 2019 campaign was so insane, so gut-wrenching, so real, so crazy. I feel like they're capturing that same thing, and I hope they build on it and make it even bigger and better than before. I believe the world, including you guys, is going to be able to see the first mission gameplay tomorrow at Summer Games Fest, so make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. We'll definitely be covering that tomorrow night here on the channel, or tomorrow afternoon. Now, moving into multiplayer and Warzone, this is where I got to be honest with you. I don't know that much. I didn't get any hands-on with the game. I didn't really hear much about this. They talked about it a little bit in the presentation, but like there are probably other people that know a little bit more than me. Again, let's just talk about some of the things that I found kind of interesting. So this is the next generation of Call of Duty. Now, I know we've literally said this most years for the past like decade, but even internally, they're calling this Call of Duty 2.0, and that's not like an official name or anything like that. That's not something they're ever going to advertise, but internally they're calling it COD 2.0. This is the first time there's one unified engine across the entire game, including Warzone, and it just seems like, I don't know. I don't want to buy into the hype without playing it, but it seems like this really truly is a step forward for the whole package, the whole game as a whole, so hopefully it's a good step forward. We're going to have to wait and see what happens. I don't want to get T Martin super excited until we actually get to see it and play it and get our hands on it. Now, in terms of the multiplayer, we've got a couple of different types of maps. So we've got the core maps, which are made for 6v6, and then we've also got what's called battle maps, which are going to be large-scale POIs from Warzone, so that's kind of interesting, maybe kind of ground war style, but more linked up to Warzone. The cross between multiplayer and Warzone seems like it's kind of all within one realm this year, so it'll be interesting to see how that works out. They did say, and this worried me a little bit, they said multiplayer will support a wide variety of behaviors, of player behaviors, and they basically looked into the COD community, and they mentioned 3 different characteristics or 3 different specifications that they've identified. Maybe there's more, I'm not sure, but the 3 they mentioned were rushers, run and gunners, people that kind of run in, react, just play really quickly. You've got stalkers, which are more of a cerebral player. Think of somebody who moves around but is a little bit more careful, more thoughtful of what they're doing, kind of tries to anticipate spawn locations and things like that. And then there's sentinels, and that's a camper. So yeah, they're you know, the game's going to be suited for any sort of playstyle, including if you want to camp. So I don't really know what that means. I think some of these are going to be some of the default classes you have available to you. I don't know what else is going to be available, but obviously it's COD. We're always going to have to deal with campers. Now, there is another thing that, I mean, it could be interesting, but we'll see. For me, especially now that I'm not like fully, completely plugged into multiplayer 100% of the time, focusing on it solely, it feels a little bit hard to keep up with. They said that the gunsmith is going to have a massive amount of weapon customization. I think, I don't know if this is confirmed, but I've seen like Charlie Intel and stuff tweet about it, something around like maybe up to 70 attachments per weapon. And then there's also attachment tuning. So you're going to be able to tune your attachments, to fine tune them, to change them and adjust their characteristics to what best suits your playstyle. So like, dude, I feel like you need a college degree to be able to know what attachments you want on your weapon. And now we're going to be able to get like, not sub attachments, but just kind of like sub changes to those attachments. I don't know. To me, it seems a little bit excessive. Sometimes I kind of miss the simplicity of just like, yeah, I'll take a red dot sight and extended mag, but we'll see how that ends up working out. Sometimes more customization is great. Sometimes it becomes a bit too much. At the end of the day, COD always ends up being the same, like 5 or 6 attachments anyway. So it's not that big of a deal, but yeah, there's going to be a lot of attachments, a lot of customization there. There are some new movement mechanics. Now, I'm not sure if these are going to be in you know, what's going to be in single player, what's going to be in multiplayer, and what's going to be across both. I'm assuming they're all going to be everywhere, but they said there's like ledge hanging, which sounds kind of interesting. We might be able to do like ledge peaks and stuff with our secondaries. There's going to be water and swimming, of course, we talked about that in the campaign. Now, it's only going to be available to pistols as well as melees. And they talked about how like real they're making the water, and like, you know, like as you sink down lower, it's harder to see and the color fades and things like that. So it sounds pretty interesting. I'm actually kind of excited to see how all the water works out in this game. They even said that some of the equipment will float on the water. So think about like a proximity mine, and you throw that thing out into a river, and then the river carries it downstream and it takes out a boat. Like some pretty crazy opportunities like that could be kind of cool. They do have new equipment. They're going to have new vehicles. They're going to have all sorts of new things. One of the pieces of equipment that really sounded crazy to me is, I forget what it was called, like a proximity dummy, proximity decoy, something like that. Inflatable decoy. All right. So this is a piece of equipment that you can put down, and when somebody comes by it, it pops up, and it's basically like a Kevlar fake version of a soldier. And when it pops up, it turns towards the player that activated it. Like think about like Alibi and Rainbow Six Siege, if you guys have played that, like the little thing that she can set up that looks like somebody peeking at you. So yeah, say you're coming around a corner, this thing pops up and it turns at you. So your first instinct, even though it does kind of look fake, is that, oh, hey, we've got movement. So you turn and shoot at it, and then it gives away your position. I don't know, stuff like that, kind of interesting. I like that they're thinking outside of the box. I could see that being super overpowered and like search and destroy and stuff, but we'll see how it works out. But yeah, we've got that. We had DDoSes, we had drill charges they were talking about and stuff. Lots of new equipment and things on the horizon, which is fun to mix things up. And last but not least, one thing that they really kind of hammered home is that they've spent a lot of time building upon and enhancing all of these systems in Modern Warfare 2, from the movement to the gunplay to everything. So it's its own thing. It's not just like a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 Part 2. They want it to be its own thing. And they don't want it to be related to Modern Warfare 2, like the original one from back in like 2011, 12, 13, something like that. 2009, I think it was. They don't want it to be related to that either. They want it to be able to be its new thing. And obviously it's a sequel to the one from 2019, so it's going to have similarities, but they also just don't want it to feel like a reskin of the same game. You know what I mean? And obviously that's a good thing. If they're going to be able to achieve that or not, I don't know, but we'll see. So yeah, that's kind of all I've got so far. Like I said, the multiplayer side, haven't really seen it. Don't really have much info on it, but I'm excited about campaign, man. I'm excited for this game. I'm excited to check out Warzone 2. We played quite a bit of Warzone when it first came out, and I haven't played it as much recently, so I think it's going to be a good time to maybe start injecting some more COD back into this channel. I don't think I'm ever going to go back to being like a primary COD-focused YouTuber, But I think it could be fun to bring some back. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. We will be covering that campaign mission when it comes out tomorrow afternoon. So make sure you guys tune back in. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out.